All right. Good evening, everyone. Light crowd tonight, I see. Let's call the 6:30 March 18th County Commission meeting to order. We have a roll call. Looks like we have quorum present. All right. First, we will start out in prayer. Tonight, praying for us tonight is newly elected constable from District 1, Stephen Williams. Stephen is a great public servant that has been doing a tremendous job here, not just in his district, but all across the county. And then for a Pledge of Allegiance, we have retired Navy Lieutenant Patrick Card, who's here with us tonight. He joined in the Navy in 1971 in the Nuclear Propulsion, is that right? Program. Served nearly 22 years in different ships across the Navy. He retired after nearly 22 years, joined the Nuclear Propulsion Program, which is a Navy DOE joint effort, serving as Deputy Director and Director in that facility. I would like to say in 2012, he moved to God's country, Anderson County, started working at DOE, and in 2019, he said, it's time to go home and have some fun in his retirement. So he'll be leading us tonight in the pledge. So please rise as Stephen comes and leads us in the prayer.
Okay, let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity for us to come together as a community. Please bless the men and women of the Anderson County Commission as they work very hard to make our community a better place. Lord, be with Anderson County. Help us out, guide us. Let us be an example to the rest of the state and the nation. We ask that you bless our country, bless our county, bless our state. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Before I start, Chairman, I give all the glory and honor to Lord Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Okay. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okie doke. Moving right along. Thank you, gentlemen. Before we do the appearance of citizens, I would like to recognize Shayla. She would like to make an introduction for us tonight. Shayla, if you'll come to the podium.
Good evening. I have a new prevention coordinator with us here tonight that is on staff now with ASAP of Anderson, and so just wanted to introduce her to you all. She will be out in the community working primarily with our youth, and so I will let her introduce herself.
Hi everybody, I'm Sarah Coley Bean. I was born and raised in Anderson County. I've went to school here my whole life. I graduated from Clinton in 2017. Go Dragons.
Yeah.
I graduated from UT in 22 with my master's in public health. I'm super excited to get to work with this community again. I volunteer with Slumdog Rescue Crew, so a little bit of connection there, but I'm really excited to get involved with Anderson County Youth, and it's very nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have a fellow dragon. No offense. No offense. It's all good, and then it kind of stuck. All right. Now we will move on to appearance of citizens. This is a section in our agenda that is for individuals to address commission on items that are not on the agenda or on the agenda. I do want to make a quick disclaimer in terms of, in light of the crowd that we have tonight. I know a good majority are here in reference to the buses. I will say this, County Commission, with it being under appeal at this point, that is not anything that we can really deliberate or say tonight. And as far as hearing from citizens, we want to hear from you, but I would recommend is I think, like I told Mr. Landreth, that there might be a unison message tonight, that one or two of you that would come and address commission if you so desire. Outside of that, again, the county commission has not taken anything up and would not be able to address anything. The other, I know that there are some folks from Mountain Road that may want to address commission. Just please know as well that it was not a public hearing tonight. And as of right now, there's nothing scheduled in April. Just please be cognizant of that as we move through this evening. So at this point, I will open up the floor to anyone that would like to address commission. You'll have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your address. And also know all comments have to be directed to the chairman, nothing directed towards other commissioners or anybody in the audience. And please, no reaction from the audience from any kind of comments that are made. Okay?
Yes, sir. My name is Bob Davis. I live at 1590 Mountain Road. You stated earlier about the April meeting. This is what we're here for, several members on the committee or community for Mountain Road. We understand that vote for the zoning couldn't make the agenda tonight because of late filing, and that would fall in April. Is that still the case, or?
So at this point, sir, I think that there's nothing that has been filed that would move the planning commission to schedule a public hearing, or the planning office to schedule a public hearing at this point.
Okay, well, if they do, could I request that you put that on the May agenda? Reason being, give the opportunity for the citizens in the community to speak their concerns to the commission at that time.
Yeah,
so I would like for you to request.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they'll work with the law director in terms of the timing, in terms of when that, there's obligations of when that has to go out, so many days of notice, therefore, so.
Okay, like I said, I just would request that it be put at the May meeting to give opportunity for people to speak their concerns.
Understood.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, sir. All right. Is there anyone else?
Good evening. I'm Jim Romer. I live at 154 Ridgetop Lane in Andersonville. Been here about 25 years. See a lot of folks in here that have spent generations here. And I wanted to just touch on a couple of things because a lot of us have talked about the previous meeting. And, you know, I for one was not aware that was not where the plat maps and the technical discussions took place. But in discussions later with some of the commissioners, I mean, it's evident that, you know, there's I think a false narrative that's sort of thrown out that if you're not going for a zoning change, you're anti-development. But the reality is this area out here is Ag 2. So people can make the use of their property that they've worked their whole life and get a good amount of money on that. And we don't understand why, if you can go out and put the density that's allowed in A2 and is part of the master plan for where we are out in the county, that someone would come in and try to get that zoned to R1 where they could put apartments in there if they wanted to. We just don't see that, you know, we think it's a false choice. We think that the owner of the property has the opportunity to, you know, to develop it with the zoning that it is. And the other question I just had, and I don't know if this is something, what the schedule is that y'all update this, but the master plan that I'm assuming is updated every few years. You know, one of the things when I was calling around and we were looking at the density that they had thrown out at like 140 houses or something, the number of people, because they were specifically targeting, you know, people, young people with families and stuff, there would be more people in that one area than in the rest of Andersonville. And the number of kids, if you use the basic 1.9, you know, ratio, you would have, I mean, you don't have capacity in the schools. So the other thing I wanted to sort of, you know, everybody felt was that there was some comment along the lines that we need the tax base so that we can grow. But we just would urge you to do a really good life cycle cost analysis, including additional school capacities and things like that. It's not just a case of a road. Because I would dare say that from a, long-term rate of return on investment, you're going to be underwater on this one. So it's not a case of helping you out. It's going to be taxing your infrastructure even more. But anyway, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? See, all right.
George McGrew, 1512 Mountain Road. I'm here not to protest the lady doing what in agricultural she can do. It's her property. She's owned agricultural, and we would like to see her develop it in half-acre lots so that we can keep the density down. The other thing is, there's rumor, and I'm not sure exactly what, that the next meeting to hear this will probably be scheduled in the morning, which I'm against because most of the people that are here work and they can't get here at 9 in the morning. So if it is scheduled for a hearing, I would request that it be at this time of the day.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, duly noted. And that will be the last speaker on the Mountain Road issue. As again, we don't have anything before us at this time. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, we will move on to.
Are you allowing anyone to speak to the busing issue at all
at
this time?
I mean, we were, yeah. But I will tell you again, just the same that with the Mountain Road, this body is, with it being under appeal, there's not really much that this body can do. And I would just ask if someone's going to speak on behalf of the buses, that if Mr. Landreth wants to speak on behalf of anything that he be afforded the right to. Okay. But at this time, this is going to be the final call for appearance of citizens, because again, the buses are not on the agenda.
I'm David Landreth. We live at 126 Cedar Lane, Andersonville. Got a lot of people out here for y'all to look at. They're all bus drivers. Can't anybody be a bus driver? It takes a special person. I've been in this for 48 years. Never ran into anything like this. But our people, all these people, get your kids and grandkids to and from school safely every day. They do the best job in the state. We would appreciate any help from y'all when it comes up that we can get. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
So my name is Lauren Holder. I'm here on behalf of 167 Peak Lane. I'm the Lone Ranger. I don't have anything to do with this other stuff. I am the property owner's girlfriend, Michael. He's actually out in the hallway because it's crowded in here. Lived in Anderson County my whole life. We're trying to get back into Anderson County, which is why we are trying to bring in fill dirt to our property, which we legally purchased, and we are legally bringing dirt in. We are, some of you may know, having a ton of issues, and to our knowledge, we are following everything that we have been asked. Danny Phillips has been to our property multiple times. According to him, we're doing nothing wrong. The county attorney, we're doing nothing wrong. The sheriff's office, who's now patrolling our property because there's been things said about dump trucks speeding, are telling us we're doing nothing wrong. Everything that we've been asked to do, we are doing. So we're dealing with slander, harassment. We've had threats made. We've had people trespassing on our property, taking photos of us. Michael's had people pull into the end of our driveway, taking pictures and videos while he's working. I mean, how would you feel if people were coming to your house, taking pictures of you and your families in your driveway? So I guess my question is, at what point can someone step in the county or something and say enough is enough, these people are doing nothing wrong? What can be done? I mean, we just want to fill our property, we want to build a house. I mean, that's my main concern.
Yes, sir, Mr. Yeager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sent an email to the other side of this issue, requesting they come by my office and we'll talk about, Commissioner Wandell's got some questions, I've got some other questions, we'll talk about all these issues. And I'll see if I can't resolve the vast majority of them. But I sent an email out and I haven't had a response yet, so.
Thank you, sir.
I'll let you know when that occurs.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else want to address the commission?
And my address is 8009 Bells Campground Road. Excuse me, I'm actually right across the Anderson County line, born and raised in Anderson County my whole life. And I know it's not on, but I've talked to quite a few of you last week. I'm here representing Parker Transport, the bus companies. What's going on? It's not right. We are Anderson County citizens. We have people who have been transporting your children, your grandchildren, drivers who are driving children of past children. We've been doing this so long, and to have an outsider come in and take jobs away from Anderson County residents, it's not right. And we have established relationships with these children. It's not just we pick up your children and take them to school. It's so much more than that. We know your children know us. They can count on us. We know their parents or, whoever it is they live with. A lot of these children don't have a stable home, but they have that stability in their bus driver every day. And we have great relationships. And today I got a letter. I get letters like this all the time. I don't think I can read it because I get too emotional. But it's saying, thank you so much. You mean more to me than you know. You're like a second mom to me. I know I can trust you. I mean, this is more, it's more than business. I get the business part of it, I really do, but it's more than that. And I would never go work for anybody other than Parker Transport. We are a work family. We have each other's backs. Christy is amazing. I do not worry about the safety of the children. I do not worry about the maintenance of my bus. I'm confident that every day I can get in my bus, it's properly maintained. My children are going to be safe. I'm going to get them to and fro. And I know it's not on the agenda, but please just think about this. I mean, these are Anderson County residents. You've got one, she's been driving 36 years here in Anderson County. And she's told that her 36 years of experience is not worth $7,000. 36 years of experience. So I just pray that you guys will please just consider this when all this comes about. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, sir, are you wanting to address? Okay, this will be the last speaker in terms of the bus contract or the bus situation.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, my name is Joe Samples. I live at 114 Aspen Lane in Oliver Springs. I'm also a driver for Parker Transportation and also I pastor a local church in Oliver Springs. But basically, I'm glad to know that I realize that your hands are somewhat tied at this point. I also am glad to know that this decision is under appeal. I would just simply ask that the process be reviewed, and because when you look at some of the criteria for the scoring of how the bus contracts were awarded, some of it just doesn't seem to add up. So I would ask that when it comes up that those things be reviewed, and that I would respectfully request that the voices of the Board of Education be at least entertained, and that again we are all very proud and just blessed to be citizens of Anderson County, and we would hope that this could remain in county as opposed to going outside.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone that would like to speak on a different topic that's in the audience? Seeing none, we will move on to the approval and correction of the agendas. First, we'll start with the consent agenda. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Yeager and second by Commissioner Allen to approve as is, sir. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, the regular agenda. We have a motion by Commissioner Wandell, seconded by Commissioner McCamey. Is that as is, sir?
I'd like to add something if I could.
Yes, sir.
Just want to add the minutes from the Anderson County Fire Commission. Apologize, I didn't get those in time.
Yeah, and I actually put that on the electronic version, and
Where would you like to add it?
we can just add it where it normally, right under Animal Advisory Committee, if that works. Any other? All right. All in favor of the agenda signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. First, we will start with the elections. First would be the appointment of the Veterans Service Officer. At this time, I'd ask Mayor Frank if she would take the podium. And I will say this, if there is about to be a mass exodus, if y'all want to go ahead, if you don't want to stay, feel free to stay if you want. It's riveting at times, but if you do want to leave, we'll go ahead and give you that time now. What? Yeah, my wife and kids, they say, well, you know how to let the air out of a balloon. So. All right. Robbie, we close that door. All right, Mayor.
All right, good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. So, as you know, Leon Jaquette, our director, is retiring from Anderson County Service, and I know you honored him as he's sailing the seas and off to Hawaii. And following that announcement, the Veterans Service Advisory Committee entered into a process of hiring another veterans, I won't say replacement, another veteran service officer. A very long and diligent effort took place. The job description was put together. It was reviewed by the committee, HR. The job was posted. Applications were received. The committee, after HR vetted those for meeting the requirements, which one of the requirements of TCA is that this individual be a honorably discharged veteran. According to the law, it says shall be. So the committee then reviewed 22 applications. They entered into a scoring process. from the scoring process. Then they narrowed that down to some candidates to be interviewed. So before you was, or I guess distributed to you by Director Jaquette, was the minutes from the Veterans Service Advisory Committee. Those members are Commissioner Tracy Wandell, who serves as the chairman of the Veterans Advisory Committee, Commissioner Robert McCamey, Commissioner Steve Varon, John Apperens, Michael Wagner, Robert Matthews, Mark Brooks. And Leon Jaquette was also part of this process, and I also sat in as part of this process as well. So after scoring of applicants, coming to you as a recommendation from the Veterans Service Advisory Committee is for Mr. Scott Nation to be appointed the Veterans Service Director for Anderson County.
All right, is there a motion to support the recommendation coming from the Veterans Committee? All right, that's a motion by Commissioner Wandell, seconded by Commissioner Isbell. Is there any discussion on this? And I will say kudos to the committee. They, having looked through the emails and everything, that was a pretty awesome vetting process. Commissioner McCamey, you were recognized.
Introduce him.
Yes, he is here, and so
yes,
I
told the mayor I said, let's get the vote over with. You never know what Commissioner Foster's got up his sleeve. I said, let's get this vote, and then, yeah. Commissioner Allen, did you? Same thing. All right. Seeing no other discussion, all in favor of this appointment signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Mr. Nation.
All right,
I will
now introduce Mr. Nation, and I will note that thank you to the committee. They did ask for Leon's input and my input as well, even though we're not voting members, and we both are concurred with the findings of the committee. So it's my honor to introduce Mr. Scott Nation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the opportunity to serve Anderson County as the next Veteran Service Officer, and I look to do great things, I hope. Just like I told the Veterans Committee, I've served a long time on the front end, enlisting a lot of young men and women into the military, and now look forward to serving them on the back end and helping them qualify and receive the benefits they deserve. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, welcome. All right. Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, there is one problem, and Leon might want to point this out as a Navy veteran.
Is he a Marine?
I am not. I'm Army all the way.
We thought we had a sailor, but he changed his mind.
All right. Commissioner McCamey.
I just wanted to say thank you to our HR department. They've done a fantastic job putting this all together and assisting us with being able to make this recommendation. So
good job.
But they did a good job. Thank you.
Commissioner Varon, you're recognized.
I just want to thank Leon again for his service. Wish him well, happy travels, and live long and prosper.
That's his plan. All right, Commissioner Wandell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, sir. This thing's not lighting up like it used to. We got changes or something going on?
It shouldn't be.
I don't know. I might need some help on this. I too just want to thank HR for what they did, Mayor Frank for her making time to sit in. Leon, just want to say thank you. Unbelievable what you've done for Anderson County. More importantly, for our veterans. You served them all, no matter where they're from, what state they're from, and I can't thank you enough. I just wish you and your wife a good trip to Hawaii and enjoy it. We're going to miss you. But Mr. Nations, look forward to working with you, and I appreciate you applying. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. And look, anytime you got any questions, just reach out to any of us. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Is it showing up on there now?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think it was chairman user operator error. Yeah. No, it was me. No, it was me. All right. Moving on to the nominating report of elections, we still have, I think, one opening on the beer board, but the nominating committee met on the 11th and nominated Commissioner Varon to the beer board and to the officially to the Veterans Services Advisory Committee, and then also nominated Commissioner Beauchamp to the Audit Committee. We have a motion by Commissioner Yeager as a group.
As a group, please.
Is that okay, Commissioner McCamey? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Congratulations. And if anybody would like to serve on the beer board, we are still taking applications. All right. Moving on, presentations, County Mayor Terry Frank.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The one action item I have is I'm requesting authorization from County Commission to work with the law director to create a release form to include certificate of liability so that existing league play can continue on the fields that are located next to the detention facility. We have had a 2-year agreement with the City of Clinton schools, and they were utilizing those fields for Blaze soccer. They have handed Blaze over, and now it's with AYSO. There are currently two agreements, just as a little background, for the fields. One is with American Youth Soccer Organization, that's the AYSO, and then the other is with East Tennessee Football Club. Both of these are soccer, and the city schools will relinquish their lease as of April 14th. Those existing applications already have certificates of liability with them. They filled out a form with the city, so I would just work with Jay on doing something.
Do you want 2 new contracts?
Yeah,
Those components involved.
Yeah, to continue to allow play, and then if we want to come back and put in anything else we would like to see in terms of long-term management of those facilities, we can do that, but at least this would allow us to not interrupt the soccer season for the youth.
Gotcha. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Wandell. Is it for approval, sir? Yes, sir. Seconded by Commissioner Allen. Commissioner Foster, you're recognized.
Yes, just a couple questions on the agreement. Will there be anything on cardiac arrest and concussion protocol? Those are key things that I'd like to see from the liability side, releasing the city, but making sure that they are aware that they should have that in their agreements, not from our side of things, but that they acknowledge that they would have, their coaches understand the cardiac arrests, state requirements, and the percussion protocol.
Okay, okay.
That's just stuff I'm used to dealing with.
Yes. Well, right now the city is, so it ends with the city. Okay. So I have copies, I've just given them to Jay, of what the city had with these individual organizations. So Jay will beef it up and make it applicable to the county, since it will fall under us.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the only other thing, if you want to make this an action item, I did get notice today that the EPA is publishing in Wednesday's Courier a notice announcing the removal action start at the American nuclear site. And then they also emailed I'm sure there's a way to pronounce the acronym, POLREP. It's POLREP, but this is a site preparation and removal action start. This is an administrative reporting tool for the on-scene coordinator. Both of these, the the public announcement has contact information and basically says that activities will be fully underway as of April 1st, 2024. And then that other document has more details about when they came on site, when they did the assessment, what they found. And what I was going to suggest is that you might authorize me to start posting these on the county website so that we have a place for citizens to go and find it. I know they can probably.
I don't think we need an action item on that.
Okay, just go ahead and do it? Okay.
Does everybody agree with that? I mean, that'd be okay.
Okay.
So, I know Commissioner Wandell's probably been getting messages, and myself, in terms of, hey, what's going on here?
Yes.
So, but yeah. Commissioner Wandell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for bringing it up, Mayor. Yes, been getting several emails and questions about it. What the mayor is speaking of course, for those that may not know, American Nuclear off of Blockhouse Valley is an old site that has some issues that EPA is coming in. EPA is funding this side of it. It's $13.5 million to clean it up for emergency cleanup. TDEC has managed it for, I guess, now 30, 40 years. They've done a good job, but their charge was just to maintain the property. But EPA stepping in, and they're going to clean it up, and I'm very grateful for that, and Mayor and Law Director and Mr. Chairman and this body for making that happen. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention former County Commissioner Catherine Denenberg and the things she did to help as well. So if anyone has any questions, contact Chairman Mays. He's got the answers. Thank you.
It's weird. I have this new feature on my phone that does an automatic forward to his number. So, all right. Thank you, Mayor. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Moving on. Director of Finance, Robbie Holbrook.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Mays. The cash and fund balance report ending February of 24. The general fund, 1.5 million in restricted funds, 1.2 million in committed funds. Assigned funds are 4.1 million. Unassigned fund balance 10.4 million for a total fund balance of 17,337,524. Cash 23,681,781, which is up 2.9 million from last year at this time in February, which I always point out February is the highest cash, our highest month for cash. The schools, general purpose schools, committed funds or their fund balance 8.5 million, cash 19,982,735. And again, on this cash and fund balance report, every fund is listed on here with their fund balance and cash balance for the ending in February. Any questions?
Any questions for Robbie? Seeing none, go ahead, Robbie.
Okay, sales tax report for month ending January, 5.2 million for the county as a whole, up 13% from last January. Anderson County portion 597, 913, 34, up 3% from last January.
All right. Any questions for Robbie about the sales tax? Seeing none.
Okay, the ARPA projects report. Revenue loss, we still have 1,596,397. Other eligibilities is deficit of 6,322, which is really going to be zero. Total 1,590,074. Nothing's really changed from last month on this report, and we still have a lot of projects in progress and several completed, as you can see. Any questions on this report?
Go ahead. Oh, Commissioner Yeager.
The witness rooms is still showing there's some in progress. Aren't we finished with? Let's see, number 10. Yeah, it still shows in progress. Didn't we finish that?
Is there approximately 29,000?
Yeah, 29 grand.
Yes,
yeah.
they have not submitted their final payment invoice to the architect for payment. So
Okay.
once the architect reviews that, sends it to us, we'll get that paid out.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Okay, and the grants inventory for 23-24. Again, nothing changed on this list from last month. It's a list of our grants that we have currently in progress for the county. Any questions on it?
Seeing none, go ahead, Robbie, with the.
Okay. Getting to the appropriations, Group 2, appropriations from the school department. There are 5 of those seeking approval as a group. Happy to answer any questions, and Dr. Barrett is here as well.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Allen, seconded by Commissioner Foster. Any discussion? And this is as a group, correct? All right. Seeing none, go to the board and vote, please. (16 yes, 0 no). Motion passes.
Thank you. There were no transfers in Group 3. Under Group 4, appropriations non-school, there were 10 of those, with 17 being omitted, so there were really 11, but 10 now. Be happy to take those as a group or answer any questions.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Allen, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Seeing none, please go to the board and vote. (16 yes, 0 no). Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Group 5, there were no appropriations there. Under Group 6, transfers non-school, there was 1 from the circuit court clerk for $6,000.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Foster, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Seeing none, go to the board and vote. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Under Group 7, miscellaneous, the first, under Section A, a grant application from the mayor's office for the TDOT litter grant. That motion was passed in the budget committee, and I need county commission approval as well.
Robbie, the other action item that was on Group 7, the nonprofit, is that the only other action item? Because the nonprofit, we'd already.
Yes.
You have to, okay.
And I need to wait till April for it.
Right,
because
that's
it has
right.
to be advertised in the paper.
Thank you. That's right. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner McCamey and seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? All in, go to the board and vote. 16 yes, 0 no. Motion passes.
So like I said, the only other action item for county commission would have been under Section F, the nonprofit donations. That motion did pass in budget committee. I do have to advertise those 2 donations, appropriations in the paper, that county commission, and then we'll bring it back next month. So I will be looking for a vote next month on that as well.
All right. All right, purchasing report.
Okay, under the purchasing report, there are 7 contracts, all that have been approved by the law director. Be happy to take those as a group. 4 of those are from Canon. 1 is an EMA, emergency management grant contract, and a EMS tuition contract.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Yeager. Is that as a group, sir? Seconded by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion on the contracts? All right, seeing none, go to the board and vote. (16 yes, 0 no). Motion passes.
And that's all I have for the purchasing report.
Does anybody, Commissioner, want your word there? Are you looking to be recognized, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, on this ECA grant, is that 50,000?
Yes, sir.
And how long can that go? Do we know?
I have asked to extend it to June 30th. These are pilot grants, so they knew it might, apparently the other ones they've given out to, everyone didn't expend all of their funds, so I had not expended, and I made them aware that I would have some money left over to return, and they said they would prefer we continue to use it. So I'm going to try to do that by June 30th.
And that's being used in what organization is that?
Well, we're in conjunction with ORCA in order to increase, the public awareness for all things related to the environmental compliance and what's going on in and around DOE.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Okey doke. Robbie, thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
All right, moving on to the Director of Schools, Dr. Parrott.
Thank you, Commissioners and Chairman Mays. First of all, I just want to thank you all for standing behind public education. I know there's a lot of things out there with the vouchers right now trying to push those things, and I really appreciate you all signing on. And I was in Nashville last week and talked to a lot of legislators, and don't know where it's going, but I do really appreciate what you all do. Just a few things. I hope you got a chance to look at our report. A lot of great things going on. CHS, as every month, the softball field, the hitting facility is complete now. They're working on lights. We already have the turf and the netting to go in that, and hopefully by the end of the week we'll be starting to put that in there. I want to thank Mr. Isabel for working on the dugouts. He's going to be working on them this week. The construction building was opened today. The bid was $270,000 for the concession stand. The closest other bid was over $500,000. That's a 30 by 32 story building. That's how much things have went up. It's just crazy. Yeah. But we're working through that. We hope to. Will be completed in 45 days. And by that time, should have a lot of everything else wrapped up. The field's in great shape now. They purchased a mower today, and they'll be starting to mow the field. As you know, we talk about our students and we talk about sports a lot. But just to let you know that Anderson County schools and Oak Ridge, they have a great robotics program, and for a few years, Oak Ridge has won the Smoky Mountain Regional contest. This year, Clinton High School won it, and they will be going to to Houston to compete in the World First Robotics Championship in April. And so working on racing from the World Series, yeah. and listen, they do a great job. If you've ever been to one of those things, they're amazing because the students build it, they work on it, they have safety people do it, and they start on it like they get it's kind of like that they have a video that comes out the 1st of January. They have till February, the last of February to get it done. They have to put it in a bag, and they can't work on it no more till they go to the contest, and everything has to be done right there on the contest. And they work together in teams, so it is a really neat thing for our students. On that same note, Norwood Elementary School has a team coming in from the state on tomorrow to look. They are trying to be a STEM certified school, and they passed the first round, and this is the second round when the evaluators come in, and we have to go and they have a round table discussion, so we're excited about what they're doing. Another thing is we have a lot of youth organizations. Right now they really crank up with our HOSA, DECA, and all those things, and we're having a lot of state winners that are going to the national contest, and from Clinton High School, from ACCTC, from Clinton Middle School. So it just shows our students are well-rounded and do a great job with that. Claxton, next month you all will see a resolution for Claxton to allow the mayor and us to start the negotiations or contracts or whatever you call it with the USDA about the loan. So the county, our board approved it last month, and then you all can approve it. It goes through the resolution to borrow money doesn't go through the board. The resolution, it goes through the mayor, and I thank the mayor for helping us with that resolution. So I'll take any questions.
All right, Commissioner Allen.
Yeah, I want to thank you for having in your report here the sprinkling of the STEM opportunities. I think that's a great program. I'm an engineer. I love science, and I'd like to see the competition between technical minds, there with the robots. That's always very, very interesting to me. And so I can see that this STEM program extends down to the elementary level too.
Yes.
So you guys have some robots down at that level also?
Yes,
and doing some programming there?
Yeah, they do. It is
Yeah.
pretty neat. Anytime you want to come out, call me and we'll go out and watch them. Claxton has a great program with them, and the kids, they design, and it looks like a little bug, and
Absolutely,
it makes
yeah.
it do everything. And that's the one thing too with the FIRST Robotics program. They have just people from the community come in that are engineers, and
Yeah.
they'll come in and be mentors to them, and we'd love to have you come in and
Yeah, I know everybody is keen on sports, and that's always great. But for me, my passion is to seeing the children, you know, dealing with complicated engineering problems and programming, and I just love to see that. So thank you very much for putting that in your report.
About 10 years ago, the Board of Education approved and the County Commission approved the first time we had to pay a coach, and we pay the coach to actually do that, and it was not for sports, it was for academics, so it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Parrott, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
All right. Law Director, Jay Yeager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I have no action items tonight. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure there'll be questions in operations, possibly.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to the Operations Committee. Chairman Isbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Yeager made a motion to approve the letter by Dr. Parrott to Representative Reagan, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Motion passed with 1 no vote for the full commission for approval.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Anderson and a second by Commissioner Wells. Any discussion? All right. Commissioner Isbell, sir.
The only thing is we probably should have included Representative Butler on that as well.
Are you okay with that amendment?
I'm okay with that.
All right. Commissioner Wells, you good? Okey doke. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this next one, Mr. Chairman, at the very end, after I read this, I want to do an explanation.
Yes, sir.
That's okay.
Go ahead. Take your time.
Commissioner Varian made a motion to approve resolution number 2024-01-1151 to create the Animal Shelter Oversight Committee, seconded by Commissioner Wandell. Motion passed for the full commission for approval. Commissioner Allen made a motion to defer the resolution to next month, seconded by Commissioner Palmer. Motion failed. And just a little explanation on that. We had, you know, it's been to this committee several times, and that was talked about as well. And then we had the chairman and prior chairman, both, out of respect, I actually voted to go ahead and send it full commission. One of the elder statesmen or committee members also said, you know, it's best to, instead of just letting 4 make a decision, pass it on to let all 16 hear it. And sometimes we'll do that, and we'll do it without recommendation. I'm not actually in favor of this resolution as it's stated, because, you know, we've kicked it around, we've talked about it. It's been, you know, through the operations committee, and it's just time, you know, to bring it out. And I think, you know, the mayor is one that's responsible for it, and county commissioner is responsible for the money, for all the finances. So I think as we go through and we generate something like that, I think more commissioners need to be on the voting side of that, but that's just my opinion. Thank you.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Wandell, seconded by Commissioner Varian. Any discussion? All right. Commissioner Yeager, you're recognized.
When we were going through the process in October, November, December about IT, HR, and tourism, it was acknowledged that Mayor Frank was a supervisor of all 3 departments. I see the same thing on this. This is Mayor Frank's department, whether we like the way she's carrying things over or whether we don't. And I have a couple problems with this resolution. It says this committee shall be responsible for supervision, operational oversight, policies and best practices. That goes way beyond what a committee should do that oversees an elected official. We've gone through this for months now in various departments, and I don't think this committee is being properly brought forward. Like I said, Mayor Frank is the head of this department. She makes the decisions. She doesn't need oversight on supervision, operational oversight, and policies and best practices. I'll be voting no on this.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Wells, you are recognized.
I guess I'll kind of piggybacking off that. Going down on the second page of this, in the first whereas, the mayor and staff will work hand in hand with the Animal Shelter Oversight Committee to identify and successfully address a wide array of issues, etc. Then down in the next paragraph, therefore be it resolved by the Anderson County Board of Commissioners, I'm going to skip down, the Animal Shelter Oversight Committee to assist the county mayor. Again, piggybacking off Commissioner Yeager, if the mayor has the authority, as a conservative, why do we need more government oversight when we don't actually have any authority to give it? The mayor's got the authority on it. If there's an advisory committee that's already in place, that's great. But to say we have an oversight committee, who are we overseeing? The mayor has the authority. We can't oversee her. So it's very contrary, and I'll be voting against this as well.
Okie dokie. Commissioner McCamey, you're recognized.
The mayor had pointed out that this, it started out when we built the shelter, the Animal Welfare Task Force. And that committee worked real well with the mayor, and we got the shelter built. And I'd kind of like to go back with that instead of it being called
an oversight.
Animal Shelter Oversight Committee.
Yes, sir.
I feel like the task force was really a better idea than an oversight committee, because it really takes the mayor out of it and puts that committee over that. So I'd like to defer this or refer it back to operations and have the mayor to come back with her recommendation on the task force.
Okay. Hold on one sec. I need to, in terms of a referral, we can continue discussion, but deferral would stop discussion.
Defer stops.
That's what I was thinking. What are you doing sitting here? I'm teasing. No, hey, look, sadly, I actually looked at you before I looked at him anyway. You know where to go, right? Commissioner Varon, you are recognized, sir.
Yeah, I'm probably least qualified in this. I've been in the committee the least amount of time of anybody. It was kind of dumped in my lap 11 days ago. It's kind of like somebody giving you a gift, saying, here, you want this? And you say, sure. You look, it's dog poop, you know. But at any rate, I came into this thing late and everything. Discussion about this started back in November, as I understand. And then the first draft came out 1st of January, that sort of thing. And I didn't even join the committee until October, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things I don't know about the animal shelter and the goings on and everything, but I have heard complaints, and I've heard a lot of talk about problems with the mayor getting back with the committee and stuff like that. Now then, I've sent a request in January asking the mayor to give me all the information on what the committee requested and everything like that, and I haven't heard back yet. Whenever I'll get that, and also information about different shelters and stuff like that that have adopted from our shelter, you know, the animal groups. A breakdown on those for one of our constituents, and I haven't heard back on that. But I mean, you know, it just seems like I'm hearing complaints about everything, and I'm not getting feedback. You know, and the issues at the animal shelter, they need to be addressed. They need some sunshine. You know, nobody likes to hang their laundry out, but, you know, whenever you got problems that need to be addressed, they need to be publicly addressed or taken care of or something. So I'm at a loss of what we're to do. I'm hoping this commission can get together on this and figure out what to do about this. I pushed the resolution through because we need to take some action somewhere. The committee's not going anywhere. But if we ignore these complaints by the committee members.
That's time, Commissioner Barron. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the 3 minutes. Commissioner Smallridge.
Yes, I agree with some of the concerns mentioned about the way this is worded. I think it is the mayor's job to do that. And I'm not sure what will happen to it. We're sending it back to operations, is that correct? Was that?
The motion on the floor right now is to approve the resolution.
Okay. I would like to see it looked at again in terms of the language. And also, I think one of the problems is it's called an oversight committee. I think it would be more appropriate to call it an advisory committee because the mayor is still responsible, and I just have that concern as has been mentioned.
All right. Commissioner Wandell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I hear the comments. Everybody has a point. Might not be worded correctly. Overstretch of government. But after 661 days of my time spending on the current advisory committee, it became apparent to me that progress was not being made. For any of us to sit around this table and claim to be a conservative, and I consider myself a conservative, believe it or not, I don't know how we can allow $5.9 million to be invested in something when we can't run a 12-bay shelter. And my fellow commissioners seem to have no issues with that whatsoever. That's their opinion. I respect their opinion. But this is one commissioner that would like to see, whatever you want to call it, advisory, board, any words that might be amenable to your ears is fine with me. But I suggest we have a board made up of experts that can help the mayor get us in a direction we need to be. I'm not confident where we're at. I'm not confident in how we're taking care of our animals. I had a constituent in my district this weekend go pick up his animal who lived in feces. And when he got to his animal was shaken, scared. Yes, the animal ran out of his farm. But it's interesting to me, that gentleman's animal got picked up immediately. And we got 2 pit bulls running loose at Ben's that's killed about 10 cats to date. But you guys may be right. It's being handled perfectly, but I will vote for this piece of document that's been going through the motions for over 6 months. We can get mad at me because it doesn't read correctly, or Jay because he wrote it the way he did, or whoever. I don't really care, but we need some type of document that can give this direction. And you know, the mayor did make a comment at the last animal care advisor. I know she had a meeting, and hey, that's great. I'd like for her to be at DOE functions. But the mayor said she'd have her version of this document at the operations meeting. Wasn't there. And guess what? We don't have one tonight either. But, you know, that's probably Tracy again picking on the mayor. I'd like to see us as a body do something
Commissioner, that's time.
to fix this, and I hope we can. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. All right, we have a motion that's on the floor by Commissioner Wandell and seconded by Commissioner Varyn to approve Resolution 2024-01-1151. Is there any more discussion on the motion? Yes, sir. I didn't hear one, sir, but no, all right, so we have a motion by Commissioner McCamey to refer this back to operations, correct, sir?
Yes, and have the mayor present to the operations committee her makeup of a task force.
All right, and then Commissioner Allen, you seconded that. All right. Any discussion on that referral motion?
Do we have to amend the motion to refer? No, this is a standalone.
All right. All right, all in favor of the referral motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Can we, I hate doing a show of hands, but signify by saying aye by a show of hands. One, two.
What's I mean?
I means to refer it to operations.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
You're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Motion fails. Noes have it. Back to the motion on the floor. Any other discussion on the? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion fails. All right, Commissioner Isbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I really appreciate this whole committee, and that's why everybody needs to have a voice, especially on something really important. And that's why I brought it. You know, I was the vote that brought it out of committee. But I'll move on. Commissioner, let's see, here we go. Commissioner McCamey made a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with the Public Library Services through this fiscal year, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Motion passed to forward to full commission for approval.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner McCamey. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Is there any discussion on the motion? Now, I will say I did set this up as a board vote simply because I think in this contract there is discussion of funds, committing funds to this. So, seeing no discussion, please go to the board and vote. Oh, sorry. Hold that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Val. No, you're good, sir. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I may be confused on this, but is this the one that the mayor was going to bring back some more information on? I know she didn't have an opportunity to do that yet, but. Okay. Okay.
Commissioner Allen, go ahead.
Do we have the information from the mayor yet? Do we have the information? No, we don't have that. Okay.
Commissioner Foster.
There was something about the utilities, that the cities pay the utilities on it, but I got a call that said, I don't know if that's been taken out. I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to read all of it. But the city of Clinton said they do not pay the utilities, but that was in the agreement that they would. I just want to know if that had been, that was discussed at operations too, right?
That's correct.
All right, Commissioner Isbell, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to defer to Commissioner McCamey because this was his project, and he's going to answer those questions, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Commissioner McCamey, you're recognized.
Yeah, about 4 months ago, we were told there wasn't anything in writing, and everybody that's looked has come up with the same idea. There's nothing in writing. This does not obligate us past June the 30th. This is the agreement that we're presently operating under. Nothing changes. The budget's set. It just for this fiscal year, which would end June the 30th. And it gives us something in writing, and it gives us something to go on for the next year, should we decide to cut the budget or increase the budget or whatever. We would do it again in the coming year. But this just gets us through this fiscal year and gives us something in writing.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Isbell.
Okay, what I want to add is, there's nothing been found anywhere about this. The way that I understand, there's no agreement, nothing in writing. It's just happened.
The last thing we have is attached as an exhibit.
Okay.
I believe that ran out last year, so as it stands right now, I believe you're correct as far as the current posture of the situation.
All right. All right, is there any other discussion? Seeing none, let's go to the board and vote. Eight, motion fails.
Okay, this next one was another one. There's no action by this full committee, but I want to read it anyway. Commissioner Yeager made a motion to defer resolution number 24-2-1157, establishing the Emergency Management Agency to include requirements in Tennessee Code until April operations meeting. Seconded by Commissioner Allen, motion passed. Commissioner Wandell made a motion to add the constables to the equipment usage memorandum. Seconded by Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Wandell added to include the Family Justice Center in the motion. Motion passed. And that concludes the Operations Committee report, Mr. Chairman.
And that resolution will come back to operations. Gotcha. Thank you. Commissioner Wandell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jay, so will the constables and maybe the Family Justice Center, if that's included, have separate MOUs?
We can add on to that one.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me. That's all right with you.
Is Mr. Kidwell okay with both those entities?
He's right back there.
You are. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Beauchamp.
Jay, I got a question about the Family Justice Center. Is that not a conflict for them since they're advocating for victims in this sense? I don't think that they should have radios, and law enforcement should be doing that job with them. They come there to the facility, so I'm not sure that the directors or anybody should have access to those things, like county radios. I think it might be a conflict on that, because if somebody comes to their facility in a domestic violence situation or whatever, the Family Justice Center people are supposed to call law enforcement. They don't have any involvement in that. So I think putting them in there is kind of a liability for us as well.
Okay, if I just get something down on paper, a draft,
Yeah.
we can work off of in operations, and we'll just put those in parentheticals, the Family Justice Center and constables, and you guys can vote it up or down, and then I'll make the adjustments before the county commission.
I just like leaving those entities separate since they're to call law enforcement and things like that. I don't really think that we need to spend money to give them radios when they're
They
supposed to.
probably don't know the proper protocol,
Yeah.
language and all that, so.
Exactly. So I think it's kind of a misuse of
I'll
money
get
to
some
do
on
it.
paper, and you guys can amend it, massage it the way you want before we send it up to county commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Chairman Varon, Animal Advisory Committee, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I've got it right here. If you want me to read it, I can, but I mean, you know, basically, we worked on, the resolution a little bit. The mayor gave a report, talking about a $1,200 grant from the state, and another, fund code is for medical costs for the animals. And we received an anonymous donation for $5,000. State inspection was done. Damon and Deborah worked on a slideshow of issues in the county as to poverty and neglect of animals, and the possibility list of codes for costs for adoption fees, reclaim fees, to have a total revenues at year end. And then Commissioner Waddell resigned his position, and I was nominated and voted in to be chairman. My first official act was to adjourn the meeting. My only official act so far, besides this.
All right, well, thank you, sir. All right, Fire Commission, Chairman Wandell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'd like to thank Commissioner Barron for taking over that committee. I appreciate it. I feel like him and the mayor is going to get a lot done together. Fire Commission met on March 12th. Had a good meeting, had a lot of attendees. Jay, I guess I had a question. We appointed a new secretary for Fire Commission. We had discussed previously about the idea of trying to get some type of stipend for a secretary so we can have somebody that's going to stick with it. Volunteers seem to kind of come and go. Is that something you can help us with?
I can certainly help you, but I think that needs to be run through the budget committee. I'll contact Robbie. Robbie's the person that would put that on the agenda for the budget committee.
We're not looking, I don't think Fire Commission is looking to an exorbitant amount. They're just looking for something, you know. If anybody has any ideas, Mayor, if you have any, I'd appreciate it too. Everybody gave updates. The only action item that I think is the main thing is the motion by Chief Adams and seconded by Chief Croft to make constables a non-voting member. Motion passed unanimously. Jay, what would be the next step since we had the motion in the meeting to add them?
We'll amend the bylaws, bring it back to county commission.
Do you need a motion now to amend the bylaws, or is that something you can do based off these minutes?
Just send it through, you want it to go through Fire Commission and Operations?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt, I don't think. Sure. I know we got some constables out here tonight, and I just want to thank you guys for coming and all you do. I'm excited. I know Commissioner Beauchamp's excited you're going to get some of them radios, and we are blessed to have you. We really are. A lot of times you don't get that recognition, but as far as I'm concerned, when I'm sitting here, you're going to get it. So thank you. Mr. Chairman, the only other item that was discussed is a truck resolution. Obviously, we don't have one going into this year, this budget cycle, but I would encourage my friends on the budget committee to study that piece of business that's not there. And I think that the Fire Commission would like to see some type of discussion on that amount of money to be potentially released to the volunteer fire departments. I don't know what it is as a line item. I think Robbie's left. I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000. I don't know what it is anymore. I haven't looked. But I'd like to see us consider taking that amount, splitting it up between the volunteer fire departments and adding it to the 27.5 on a yearly basis. The Fire Chiefs Commission was supposed to meet, and they were going to make some discussions, and maybe that's what they'll come up with. I don't know. The only other thing, Mr. Chairman, was the Anderson County Water Authority. I let them know that we don't have, Mayor, obviously, any say-so over the Water Authority, but the request was made by Chief Croft, seconded by Chief Adams, to have all water authorities contact chiefs via dispatch or other means in event of water outage, so it wouldn't hinder fire suppression operations. I don't know how we do that, but I think one of the suggestions was to use perhaps the dispatchers to let folks know when water's out. The dispatcher can send out the message, I guess in theory, and say, hey, we got a water outage at, you know, Mountain View or whatever, and that way the fire community would know that there's no water there if something should break out. Radio agreement's already been covered. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Beauchamp, do you have anything to add?
No,
okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on down, we had no unfinished business or new business. Any announcements?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Under new business, there was something, a couple of things that come out of Planning Commission, and one of them was when they do the demolition at the TVA Bull Run, how will they get that out of there? Will they do it by truck because they're encouraging maybe rail or some other? Because as we all know, that's a very congested area, especially start tying up all those trucks during that demolition, maybe to talk to them, encourage them maybe to move some up by rail or come up with some type of planned route so we can let everybody know.
Yes, sir.
And the other thing is we're getting real close to getting our rezoning plan together. And they're asking if on, I think, April the 2nd at 6 o'clock, we're supposed to have a meeting. Is that correct, Mayor? Is it April 2nd?
Yes, that's one that we'll just be talking about housing, some of the
Right.
zoning.
And they were asking if we could maybe schedule a meeting at 5 o'clock prior to that. So it'd have everybody a chance to be here, and then they can give an overview of where we're at so far, if that would be possible, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. The 6 p.m., I just offered some dates to the Planning Commission chairman, and I think he passed it by your committee, and they landed on the April 2nd. So part of that presentation is going to be the affordability issues in the county. They're going to be county-specific, what the inventory is on the market, what it takes the average person, you know, what home they could afford, what the pricing is here, what that inventory looks like, and then some other issues along that line. So that's going to be the topic of the 6 p.m. April 2nd.
Okay.
Good deal. All right, Commissioner Palmer.
I just want to remind everyone that the follow-up to the strategic planning workshop is next Wednesday, a week from this Wednesday, at the Anderson County Health Department, which is March 27th, 8 till 4.
All right.
No.
All right, Commissioner Beauchamp.
I got 2 announcements. I want to announce.
We'll let you do one.
Medford Fire Department is going to have their famous chili supper April 13th at 5 o'clock, and it's at the, is that the Clinch River Church, Tim? Yes. Clinch River Church. So if everybody can come out and support them, it's always a good time. And then I want to ask everybody, I don't know if you followed up on the budget meeting that's not on budget, but we had a medical bill that was presented to us from the Sheriff's Department over some issues. We have asked Public Defender Ann Correa to come and speak before us on April 4th at 4 p.m. to explain that situation. So any commissioners that can come out and listen to this, because taxpayers are going to have to foot the bill for this, so we need to make some decisions on it of what's going on. So if you can, please come to that budget meeting on April 4th.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Isbell.
One other thing, Mr. Chairman. My commissioner, Commissioner Val, just brought it to my attention. We're having the Rocky Top Chamber dinner April the 2nd at 6 o'clock. So I don't know if we could possibly.
Are you performing?
Be a conflict.
No. A good friend of mine, Kenny Evans, is it?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. All right, good deal. Any other announcements? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn? We are adjourned.